The Western Line. Zones. Zone 1. Ashbury and the Cleave. Overview. Tours and features. Welcome to the zone videos for the Western Line of Dartmoor. Our first zone is Ashbury and the Cleave, at the northern tip of the Western Line. It consists of the most northern tors, rocks, crags and hills. East Hill,
Fatherford Rocks,
Ashbury Tor, West Cleave Tor, Ashbury Lower Crags, Halstock Cleave Tor, Halstock Wood Tor, and West Cleave Gorge. Best approach and route. To hike this zone you can travel to the town of Oakhampton, then take Station Road and stay on it until it becomes Tors Road, and then becomes Camp Road. Pull into a car bay on the right of the road before any turn-offs to Oakhampton Military Camp.
head left of the car bay, then turn first right and take the short uphill road to a cattle grid and permissive path marked Lower Halstock. From here you can begin to navigate.
East Hill.
To visit East Hill, which is private but briefly accessible, start at the Lower Halstock cattle grid and take a left diagonal from the main footpath road on the grass to the highest point.
At 349 metres high, it's a smooth open-air hill with good grass terrain and gorse that provides a great view of Oakhampton town from above. From down in the town of Oakhampton itself, East Hill is the main peak that dominates the skyline.
Feature 1B, Fatherford Rocks. Driving through the town of Oakhampton through its main road, the B3260 Exeter Road, from west to east uphill, you eventually leave the residential housing, and just before going over a blue painted bridge over the railway, there is a right turning to a place called Tor Down. Take this, and it descends down a narrow, single-file rickety road. Ignore the next left turn that heads under a rail bridge to the riding stable, and take the next left turn where the road forks, and this road will take you to a car park bay on your right that has room for several cars. From this car park, begin walking to the right past a house and find the small gate and footpath underneath the two high bridges, one of which is the Fatherford Viaduct, which now supports a working railway, and the other bridge supports the A30 dual carriageway. Walk under the stone Fatherford Viaduct, and then cross the East Oakmont River on the Charlotte's Footbridge to your right. Due to the cacophonous mix of car and train traffic above and the roar of the river, it can be quite noisy here. After crossing the bridge, go through the gate to your left and continue on under the A30 road bridge. Be aware on this dirt footpath as it will branch off into several choices, a fork of 3 tracks. If you wish to take the second route to Ashbury Tor, turn right after the A30 bridge and head up the steep path parallel to its left. But ignoring that for now, ignore the left and right forks and take the centre route. Fatherford Rocks is the most northern tor of the Western Line. It is not one of the tall high-up rocks perched on a hilltop, but we begin with this quarry-like rock, low down, not far from the banks of the East Oakmont River. After picking the centre of the 3 forks in the dirt track, look off to your right through the trees, and in summer through the ferns, and you may spot the dark, tall rocks of this hiding tor. They may be difficult to reach on foot due to brambles and small bogs, but these rocks form a walled crescent in the woods.
Ashbury Tor.
Ashbury Tor is private but accessible on the western side of the West Cleave Valley that harbours the East Oakmont River, in the woods of that steep hill. You can reach it by following the footpath from Lower Halstock cattle grid to Lower Halstock farm, and crossing the stream over some stepping stones to the north of the farm. From here take a right following the river and work your way diagonally on a north-northwestern bearing through the woods toward the top of the valley. You will encounter it there. It can also be accessed from the north via a footpath that climbs uphill south of Fatherford Rocks and the underside of the Fatherford Viaduct.
At this point, you are entering harsh terrain characterised by steep slopes in places and loose dry leaves that persist through several seasons that can be difficult to climb on. Watch your step here and assess and judge your own risks. This tour is a little dangerous. Ashbury Tor presents multiple stacks and some animal tracks through a steep-sided grassy wood to the south. Ashbury Lower Crags.
From Lower Housedock Farm, cross the stepping stones over the stream to the north, then ascend the hill to a break in the old wall, pass through this and turn right,
and follow the track that runs alongside it on the left, ignoring all other tracks also sparking off it on the left, and you will be brought down into the deep valley of Moor Brook,
following parallel to the winding course of the stream, which slowly curves left.
Ashbury Lower Crags will appear to you beside the path to the left, some large outcrops going up a steep hill from the bottom of the valley. Some riverside paths here require caution beyond the Tor as they rise above the rocks in the water. Housedock Cleave Tor.
From Lower Housedock Farm, walk north.
After heavy rainfall, the crossing at stepping stones over Moor Brook here at the bottom of the valley can be more difficult. Cross the water here. You will have your best view of the rocks of this Tor on the far bank of the river.
But instead of crossing the stepping stones, take the footpath to the east.
To get on top of the rocks, and follow the public footpath uphill again, and around to the left. In a short time, pace carefully away from the footpath to the left, being wary that you are on a cliff that is indeed the Tor. There are ways you can climb lower down here between the rocks, but it can be tricky. Go back up and follow the footpath around to the east to reach other features of this zone. Housedock Wood Tor and West Cleave Gorge. We left off following the footpath that runs above Housedock Cleave Tor to the east. It then rounds a bend through a gate and heads somewhat south before descending a steep river valley, this time of the East Oakmont River. The track ends at a flat section near a footbridge. Ignore this footbridge and reverse to find a lower track running closer to the river, heading north. At a few meters worth of slightly difficult scrabbling as the track cuts through a precarious rock, you will realise you are next to the West Cleave Gorge, which is down to your right. Looking upward to the left, you will see the lowest section of Housedock Wood Tor in the same area. There are higher rocks belonging to this tor in the woods halfway up a steep and difficult hill, but it is best advised to look for these coming off the higher track. West Cleave Tor. From West Cleave Gorge, return to that footbridge you saw to the south, which is called Housedock Wood Bridge, and cross it. The next tor is spectacular, and really makes the trip worthwhile, but you must ascend the semi-steep grassy valley slope out in the open air, away from the woods to reach it. Follow either of the tracks to the north or northeast of the footbridge, and keep heading north. You will see it. It is a massive spine of rock running east to west that offers great views from the top or walking beside its base. Additional notes. As of current times in 2022, the area between the high hills of West Cleave Tor, spanning south to encompass Housedock Wood Bridge on the east side of the East Oakmont River, and also south to Scary Tor, contains one of the only areas of wooded or forested area officially on the Dartmoor camping map. All other woods camps on Dartmoor are usually done at the chosen risk of the individual. There is a permissive pedestrian path from the stepping stones over Moor Brook, which is near Cleave Tor, that you can use to return south of the oval field, heading west, which will take you to the suggested car bay you started from.